Alright guys, I'm up on the roof. We finished everything. We got plywood in the main section of the cabin, and then for all of the overhangs we use these boards. And because we haven't decided yet, we might leave it open on the bottom, and we save money on the plywood by doing that. And then the same thing with the overhangs. We put two boards on the overhangs, and then the same thing here on the front part, nailed everything in. And then the same thing on the other side over here. We're back with another day at the cabin build. Today I have plans of putting all of the siding on the cabin, and we got the back wall already right there. That was the first wall that we raised, and we put the siding on it, the T111, before we even raised the wall. Now we're going to put the rest of the siding, the T111. However, I am going to try and save a couple of bucks, and the way we're going to do it is we're going to just cut the windows out before we install it. We're not going to put it on and cut the hole for the window, because that would take so much more material. And, everything we do, we try to do kind of on a budget. This is, the nicer plywood. There's no knots, there's no, defects. We're going to stain it, and we're also going to stain the beams a different color. That's kind of what we're planning on doing. We want to leave this open, so we have a nice, open ceiling with beams. And I think that will look pretty nice, and Pink agrees. I think, it's going to look good. We're expecting rain tonight, so I have to try and get this done because I need to stiffen up the structure of the cabin now.
So yesterday we had an amazing deal. The fruit trees are starting to come out at some of the local stores. So when we were at the animal feed store, we picked up 3 beautiful fruit trees. I mean, look at the size of those trunks. They're they're really good stock trees, so it's nice. We have
non-GMO, all of them.
Yes.
Freedom Tree Farms. We got Granny Apple. We have pears.
Bartlett.
Bartlett, is that what that is? And then we have the cherry.
Yeah, they're Stella cherries. It says it on the little
yes.
thing in the bottom.
Stella cherry. Great. So this is the Granny Smith apple. Pear Bartlett. So we'll get this planted.
Yeah, they're wonderful trees. I mean,
yeah.
Look at how beautiful.
Yeah.
It's great. They're going to make a great addition to our orchard.
They're budding already.
Yeah. A great addition. A great addition, baby. That was a very good find. I'm glad we stopped in the store.
Yeah, they just got them in, so it was great because they had a very big selection.
Pretty much first choice, yeah.
Yes, that's right. like I mentioned earlier, we're expecting a lot of rain overnight. So I want to go ahead and try to get as much of this siding in as possible. And so what I'm doing, as I also mentioned earlier, is I'm trying to save us a couple of dollars. So I'm cutting the pieces as I go so that I don't waste all of this, because these are very large openings for our windows and the door. So if we can, we'll probably save 1 or 2 sheets of plywood of siding. So I'm going to continue this way. I think it's going to work out fine, because the window is going to go in, and this little gap here is no big deal because we're going to have trim regardless. And so whatever doesn't show, it doesn't show. And so I'm doing all the bigger pieces first. And then once I'm done with the bigger pieces and just putting a few nails in just to hold it in place temporarily, I keep going, cut all the smaller pieces and get everything in that as much as I can today, and then secure everything with nails. I'm using 2-inch galvanized finishing nails. And I went and made a mistake, and I got 2 boxes, and one of the boxes is only a 1.5 inch. But I think it's going to work out. If I have to go and exchange it, then I will. The 2-inch works well. I mean, it's got a good hold because it's pretty long. So we'll keep going, and I don't want to put any nails along the bottom edges because I have to be able to fit the other piece in. So I'm keeping those kind of loose. Whatever I connect, I'll be connecting my other pieces. I'm keeping loose so that I can just slide my next piece of T111 right behind it and then nail it in at the end. If you guys never used one of these before, it's a center punch. This is a 5/16 center punch, so it has like a tip point on it. You put it on the tip of the nail and you bang it in, and then it drives it inside the wood so that you can then caulk it and then stain it or paint it, and then you don't see the nail. So that's what these are for, in case you wonder what I'm using, because not everybody knows what this is. You know, a lot of people out there are into construction. Maybe they do that for a living, but not everybody does that. A lot of people want to build a cabin, kind of like we did, and we're not professionals, but we do our research. I've been building for many years, but just for myself, not for others or anything like that. Never professionally. And it's been now a number of decades since I have done anything like of this kind of this construction. This is actually the biggest building, for a better lack of words, that I have built in my life. So it definitely gives you the confidence to go out there and maybe do something even larger at some point, you know. Because when you are able, if you can do this with a 12/16, you can do it with something twice or three times the size. You just can't keep adding on. Like we could have done an overhang on this side, put another slant roof this way, and have that all other side be another part of the cabin, but we don't want to pull permits, and our county only allows up to 256, I believe, square feet that you can do without having to pull permits and get inspections and all that stuff. So that is why we're doing this size dwelling, and the deck is totally separate from the cabin because it's on separate footings altogether, so they are not connected. Okay, so we keep going, and I'll cut the other piece for over here, join it, and then I'll do this piece here, and then I'll do the larger piece on the other side, the two pieces on the side of the windows. And after I'm done with that, I'll do probably the front. I'll leave all these little pieces over here for the very end, because also I have to go back in and put all my cripples up there for the slant of the roof to give it more support, because those I haven't done yet. I was in a hurry with all the rain we've been having. I was in a real big hurry to get this thing done, get the roof up and get that out of the way, and we were able to do that yesterday. So today we're trying to get the siding in and see if we can stiffen up the structure a bit more. We're supposed to get rain tonight, so fingers crossed. I noticed some of these panels have some damage, and you know, they're never perfect, and you would think they would pay a little bit more attention and not leave these kind of gouges along. I know that's where they had these shipping straps, but most of them are like that. Okay, and our store, the Lowe's that we go to, because it's the closest to us, the next town over, it's a good 35-minute drive. They don't have very good material. It's very disappointing, but they don't have very good material. And as a matter of fact, they don't have a lot of the newer material. So it's very frustrating because we have to go with, things that were being used back in the 1980s and the 90s. And they don't have anything of the new stuff at all. They don't have the waterproof plywood for the flooring. They don't have the adhesive tape to put over underneath the metal roof, those rolls of sticky barrier, moisture barrier, and so it's really frustrating. We're probably going to have to put the tarp back on later today because, like I said, we're going to get rain, and I have the tar paper temporarily. I have some tar paper left over from our shed project that we did last year. So I used that, and I had just enough, not for the overhang, but that's treated wood, so if that gets wet, it won't matter. But this year I didn't want this getting wet because this is not treated. The plywood that we installed is not treated, and it's quite expensive, let me tell you. It's turned out to be quite an ordeal in terms of cost for this project so far. It's, you know, even with the prices being lower now, you know, for lumber and so on, it still comes up to be quite a bit of money. So, and we're not even done because we still have to do the interior and all the insulation and the flooring and the walls and everything. Ceiling is going to be done, but the cost will be up on the top because we want to put some type of insulation. We don't want to do a lot of insulation because we are in a very mild climate zone where we are in the southeast. So we don't get extreme winters. At least that I noticed. I talked to people just the other day that have lived here their whole lives, and they said that this is pretty much how the weather is over here. And it's getting warmer now. The sun came out. It was cloudy earlier. I could totally take my shirt off and be with my shirt sleeves like I was yesterday. And I might be because I'm getting kind of warm now. But I want to keep going right now. I want to go ahead and get this piece here, and then we'll keep moving forward. There will be a few seams like right here, but I don't think they'll be noticeable. I'm going to caulk over the seam, and then we'll have a solid stain on it, so I don't think it'll be noticeable. And look, if it's going to save us $100 or even $50, you know, we're all for it, to be honest with you, because, you know, we try to save money when we can, where we can. We don't want to try and cut too many corners, you know, but you know, we try to make it so it's something that's going to work for us, and that's really all that matters to us. So if it works for us, we're happy. All right, let's get this in. All right, so I went to check. I have 2 sheets of siding left of the T111. So I need to decide where I'm going to put it first. And I'm thinking to do the corners first because the corners is going to stiffen up the entire frame. So I'm going to do all the corners. I have done already 2 corners. So I'm going to do 2 more corners over here. I'm going to do this corner and then I'm going to do that corner over there, okay? I already did one side, I just have to do this side. And then I have to finish nailing everything in because that's going to really make a difference. You don't realize, but it doesn't seem like it's that big of a structure, you know. But the thing is that even though it's not a huge structure, it takes quite a bit of wood. When it's all said and done, you definitely got your investment in it. That ceiling, check it out. Isn't that nice? That is going to be a nice ceiling inside here.
Set out on the open road, same old place you always used to go. You speeding through a 50 zone like your dad before, you didn't even notice. An old man with silver hair sitting in his rocking chair. Soon you'll be there. Although it's easy to remember, it's as easy to forget. That it leaves you feeling down and filled with some regrets. All this trick of the memory, we call them good old days. Although sweet in the moment, it's poison for you. You heard before, you even knew the language. With every line across your back, back to where the summer never ended. Though it's easy to remember, it's as easy to forget. That it leaves you feeling down and filled with some regrets. All this trick of the memory, we call them good old days. Although sweet in the moment, it's poison for you. It's poison for you.
the sun is getting ready to set back there. So I think I'm going to call it a day. I got some of the back side nailed in here. Not finished. I have to put more nails, but I ran out. And again, but I got a good bit of nails in there holding them in place, so the structure is much stiffer now. So the only other thing I need to do now is I need to get back up on the ladder, get up on that roof, trim off all of this tar paper along the edges. I just wanted to have something up there so that if it rains, you know, I don't have to worry about it. But I'm debating. I think I'm going to throw the tarp up on it regardless, since I have it. We got this, you remember this huge tarp over here? It covers the entire roof, so we're going to put the tarp back on and staple it, so we don't have to worry at all about any kind of rain and water getting in. But it won't, because the tar paper is pretty waterproof. So this is looking pretty neat. What do you guys think? With the siding going in. Of course, it's not finished, but you get the idea. If I hadn't run out, I would have kept going. But you know how it is. I'm sure a lot of you have been through this kind of thing before, where you know, you think you have enough and you don't have anywhere near enough material. So, but I'm pretty satisfied. Everything is looking pretty straight, so I'm happy about that. We really didn't have much trouble at all with this build. It all went up pretty smoothly. Well, there we go. You kind of get an idea what's going on. Right, guys? All right. Keep watching. There's more coming.